guys, this is Ashley, one of the visual artists from Hearts Need Art. I wanted to show you guys how to paint a butterfly. I'm going to try and keep it pretty simple so you could do this at home. The first thing to start off with is, of course, going to be your materials. So I have here some classic just acrylic paint in the tube that you can get at Michael's Hobby Lobby. I even think they sell these at Walmart, Target, that sort of place. You can almost get this anywhere. This is what I'm going to be using today to paint this butterfly. You're also going to need, real simple, a surface to put your paint on and mix your colors with. A little cup of water. You really don't need a lot of water, just a little bit is enough. That way, in case it spills, it doesn't make a huge mess. It's also nice to start with a variety of brushes. I have two square or flat brushes here. My favorites is this 3/4 inch brush. I really like this brush. I use it a lot for my background. And this 6 flat is another great brush to use, but really most little brush kits are going to give you something like this. So about two flats, different sizes, and 2 round brushes, different sizes. These are great because it gives you good lines. You're also going to need paper towels. It's also helpful to have wipies if you want wipies. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to do, real quick, a drawing of a butterfly. Let's just see what happens. You're welcome to copy my drawing, and you're welcome to come up with your own thing. So here we go. Classic butterfly, little head. Let me make this darker so you can see it. Kind of a little teardrop. I'm sort of making my butterfly, this is a C shape basically, and then this is a classic S. I'm going to come down to another S, a backwards S, and maybe make it kind of come to a little point right here. I'm not going to worry about perfect proportions and size. This is a painting. We're just going to sort of let it be whimsical. If you overthink it, it's just not a whole lot of fun. There's my butterfly. I could be super crazy and like erase all this extra stuff. It's really not necessary. You could just let it be a part of your mark making and a part of your artwork. So set your pencil aside. I think I'm going to go ahead and put in my little antennas because they're cute and they're fun. So I like to think of them as like question marks. Whoop. And then here's another one. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and I'm going to make them cross over because that's just visually interesting. Whoop. Cute. The first thing I'm going to do is my background. For this project, I'm feeling a little bit sunshiny. So I'm going to make a yellow background. You could, if you wanted to, just go ahead and make a blue background, purple background, whatever you want. I'm going to take this yellow paint here, put a little bit out. So there's some yellow. To make it a little bit more visually interesting, just for fun, I'm going to throw some colors that look like they're in the family of yellow. So this one actually is yellow ochre, but just visually, whatever color you think is pretty to your eyeball. This is white. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my big brush here, dip it in my water. Most paints work better when we're painting acrylic with less water on your brush. So I'm going to get my whole brush wet, rake it on the side so I don't make a drippy mess coming across to my paper towel, tap, tap. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of bright yellow and a little bit of this dark yellow on my brush at the same time. It is very nice if you have something behind your artwork to keep you from painting on the table. So I'm going to just flow with this, y'all. I'm going to grab another piece of paper here. I'm going to put it behind. I hope this isn't too confusing, but what I want to do is paint this top side without getting it on my table. I am at the hospital. and want to respect this space right here. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is just kind of actually get a feel for this outline. And one of the things that I love to do is go back without even rinsing my brush and just pick up another color. I just globbed some white on here. I'm going to make some white crosses in here. It's okay if you get into your artwork. I think it's important not to stress about that because this is the background. We're going to be painting the foreground next. So we'll be able to paint over those. It's okay to cross the line, y'all. And I'm grabbing a little bit of my yellow. A little bit of my dark yellow. La-di-da. You want enough paint on your brush that you have something to move around. This is acrylic painting. The process that I'm using here is going to be a little bit more heavier. I'm not watercoloring. That's a whole different process. You would actually use a little bit more water for watercolor. Right here, I'm just using this yellow, and then down here in the bottom, I think I'll kind of fade it into this darker, kind of make an interesting little atmosphere there. It kind of goes from bright to a little bit darker. I'm gonna flip again, paint this side. Don't be afraid to use all your paint, you guys. When I was a kid, I used to try and save my paint because I never knew when I was gonna get some more. But we have so many resources today. Just don't be afraid, don't be liberal with, don't be conservative with it. Go ahead and get enough paint that you can finish painting. It's kind of like, I like to say it's like icing a cake. You want enough icing that you can ice the whole cake, right? We want to be able to finish this painting with our colors. Just let these colors just kind of dance and mix together. You don't really have to think about it too hard. I have a little piece of glitter right there. I think that's cute. Don't think about it too hard. It's just not fun when you make it difficult. Okay, there we go. All right, I'm gonna rinse my brush, tapping it all the way down to the ground, all the way to the table, to the bottom of the cup. Rake it off. Tap, tap on your paper towel. And now I'm gonna go ahead and come up with some ideas for the inside of my butterfly. I'm gonna show you guys one of my favorite colors. It's kind of a secret. Not really, not after I tell you. But we're gonna put these two colors together. I'm gonna start with this white. I'm gonna get a healthy blob of white. And then I'm gonna grab this. This is just a green. Oh. Kind of a teal. It's a little bit darker than what I actually want to use, so I'll show you my secret here in just a moment. I'm gonna get a little bit of this darker blue in here too. All right. My brush is dry and I'm ready to pick up my paint. To start off with, I'm just gonna grab a little bit of this white, a little bit of this green, and as you mush these two colors together, it makes a beautiful, beautiful teal. I love this teal color. Okay guys, I can tell you right now that I'm gonna use a lot of white. In my little acrylic set here, it just doesn't really look like a whole lot of paint, or to me it doesn't, because I like to use a lot of paint. I'm gonna use this white first. If I were to go to the store or order online, I would get a bigger tube of white than anything else, because I just use a lot of white. And knowing that, I have this nice healthy blob right here, which is the same size as this green, but I'm gonna double this up. I just know I'm gonna use a lot of that. I like to pull the paint away from my puddle and kind of mix puddles here. So it goes from darker to lighter. and I'm gonna just start putting these colors just kind of around. I'm gonna start right here closer to my dragonfly, listen to me, butterfly body. It does kind of mix a little bit with that yellow, but to tell you the truth, it makes a beautiful color, and I wanted to cover that pencil line, really, so I'm just gonna, look how beautiful that is. Now I think, not even washing my brush, I'm gonna grab a nice healthy blob of the green that I was using and just kind of paint over this other side. Now, in order to fill a large space sort of quickly, still using my favorite brush, I'm gonna grab a little bit more of whatever color I like the most and kind of make X marks. It just sort of, you don't have to overthink it. Just sort of rhythmically fill in that space. Okay, I'm gonna go off my page here and I don't want to paint the table. Boop. There's a couple things about painting that I can share with you real quick while I'm filling in this butterfly. I like it when we don't overthink it. I think it's fun. So just get the paint on your brush and lay it down. You don't really need to, don't overstress about it. Now I'm gonna do this wing, and I'm gonna use a little bit different technique, I think. I'm gonna make it a little bit smoother. So I'm gonna start off with the darker color right down here. Making sure I have enough paint on my brush that I can actually have something to push around. And then I'm gonna start with my lighter color up here at the top. And then just kind of let those two colors dance where they meet together with my little X's. I can always go back over here and I can sort of soften this area too, but I kind of like to just leave it alone and sort of see what the paint does, see what happens. So now I'm going to paint the bottom of this butterfly, and I need a little bit more color. Where's my white? I used all that white. All right, I'm gonna start with a little bit of this dark blue in here. It didn't rinse my brush. I'm just letting these colors just sort of all be together. And now I'm gonna grab my green and my white and start this direction, letting it be a little bit lighter color, grabbing white, and then just let it dance here in the middle. This is what we would call an abstract, fun, and easy butterfly. That you can do at home. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this blue and just let just a little kiss here and there. Bloop. All right. The body of the butterfly really could be any color. I'm gonna go with two colors. Because it's in my kit, and I'm gonna stick with browns. A little bit of this lighter brown, a little bit of this darker brown. And you can do this with your brush, or you could get a little bit crazy with it and use your fingers. Let all that color get on your finger there and just kind of blob in a cutie patootie little body in here. I'm just sort of wiggling my finger. I sort of shake anyway. I had a ton of coffee this morning. Doesn't have to be perfect. There. All right. And I'm going to grab some black paint. Black is kind of scary. It's a scary color because it's so dark and you don't want to mess up. So I'm going to tell you guys another one of my tricks of the trade, and that is to breathe. So I'm going to grab my smaller brush, I'm gonna go with the smaller square brush, and you're gonna find out why. If you paint with this section right here, it makes a stronger, bolder line. If you paint it like this, it's gonna make a skinny line. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that just a little bit. Now, I'm gonna act like this butterfly is kind of like a monarch butterfly, and they have like black tips on the ends of their wings. So I want to be able to make a long line. In order to do that, we do need to have a little bit of water in our paint. So I'm gonna get a drop or so of water, that much, put it in my black paint right here. You see how it's on the side of my black paint? I'm gonna work this. It's gonna make it more fluid, which means I can make a longer line. All right, here we go. Wish me luck. Here's what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be easier for you too. I'm gonna turn this butterfly upside down because what I wanna do is I wanna pull the paint towards my body. I'm gonna have more control going this way. I'm gonna start right here with a skinny line. See that skinny line? And as I'm painting, I'm gonna twist to a stronger line, just for fun. Woo! A little bit more paint, a little bit more water, and I think I'll do skinny to fat here too. You can also make it fatter by simply applying pressure. So right here, I'm holding my brush almost as if I were tickling somebody. You just want to real lightly. And as you get closer to the bottom, you want to apply more pressure. So here's our little tickle tickle, and then pressure. Right here, I feel like I kind of want to make it be a little whimsical. And right here. Sound effects help. If you don't feel comfortable making these long lines and you want to do something a little bit more like this, I don't know if you can see through my hand. This is fine. You can make short little lines. If you're more comfortable with this, it looks just as good, I think. I even think it looks better if it's kind of shaky. Whatever your mark is, we're appreciating it, we're loving it. I'm gonna give my butterfly body just a little bit of volume. And now I'm gonna grab my smallest of my brushes, some water, my black paint. You can always test what's gonna happen on your paper towel or on your paint palette. So I want to make a thin line. I'm going to practice here. So I'm going back to that tickling. When you push, it makes a fatter line. Okay? I'm going to go from fat to skinny. So I'm going to put my brush, I'm going to tilt my hand like this so you can see fat, and as I draw, I'm lifting up to skinny-ish. It's always nice when painting whimsically to, at the end, I think, for contrast, to add some white mark making to your painting. So I'm gonna use the brush that I haven't used yet, which is my little bit fatter round brush. I'm just gonna use solid white paint here, and I'm just gonna make some lines. And these lines just need to, you can take this or leave it. They don't have to be right on top of or right next to. Just sort of place them here and there. You can even put them on the outside of your butterfly. And I picked up a little bit of black, no big deal. Wipe it off on your paper towel. Where else should I put a little line? Maybe right here. He's flying. And here's another little tip. If you think that your antennas turned out fat or you don't like them, you can stick a little bit of white paint in there and it helps skinny him up. I think this line right here needs to be broken up a little bit, so I actually think I might make some sort of little dots right here. There, that's fun. I'm gonna give you guys two more little tips. Acrylic paint in the tube is awesome. This is kind of how you use it. But if you don't feel comfortable mixing your colors like this, and you want to buy your colors already mixed, here's my tip. If you purchase these fluid acrylic mediums, they're inexpensive, maybe 50 cents to $1.50 per tube. It's already kind of runny. It's a little bit easier to paint with. You don't have to add any water. So it comes out, and rather than coming out like toothpaste, it comes out a little bit more fluidy. I think this one's gonna be really fluid. So this sort of runny puddle compared to this puddle, which is bolder, this paint is a little bit easier to work with, and it comes with colors. Say you want the perfect periwinkle color, here you go. Or the perfect teal, here you go. This is a great way not to have to mix your colors. One more tip for my favorite color in the whole wide world. I love, love, love to mix this green and this yellow and a little bit of white. I use a lot of white. Makes the most beautiful, happy green color in the whole wide world. Look at this. Oh, so just for fun, let's do some grass. Isn't that pretty? A little bit of water. Easter's coming up. This is a fun way to make grass. Here we go. Oh, just for the fun of it. Turn your brush upside down. Makes a perfect dot. It's a little dandelion with his little guys blowing out off into the wind to remind you to breathe when painting. Have fun!